Hello and welcome to SheWolfMom. I'm Erica. Today's video is a continuation of my previous video. I am going to be cleaning, decluttering, and organizing Iliana's closet. She does have a couple of moving boxes in there that I need to go through and get situated. I honestly have not looked in her closet since I put the boxes in there, and it's just getting continuously worse. We do not have an organization system in place for her bedroom, and she is struggling to keep it clean. That is because she's used to a system in her room. We had an amazing system back in Arizona, and she knew where everything went. She kept it really tidy, but because I have not put a system into place, I can tell that she's really struggling to keep her room clean and organized. It's almost like if she's reverting to the way that she was just a couple of years ago. So I really want to get this done. That way these habits don't stick around and she doesn't become a person that is not tidy. That is extremely important to me, and I talked a little bit about that in my previous video. I also mentioned that the way that we are living right now, the condition of my home, it's not normal because we just moved. We started the moving process 10 months ago. It was a long and hard move, and that's why I talk about so openly my feelings about it. And I found a training course on Skillshare, and I've talked to you about Skillshare in the past, and this training course was amazing. The training is called How to Declutter and Organize Any Space. I was a little weary to take the training because it is a 3-hour training, and of course I'm a really busy mama, but the nice thing about Skillshare is that you can log into it, pause, resume whenever you want. So I did listen to about a good hour and a half of the training. They touched on a lot of topics that I've spoken to you about, and it just really solidified my feelings that I was going about it the right way, that I was feeling what I was supposed to feel. One thing that they spoke about is that there is a direct link between mental health and your physical space. They also talk about how to identify clutter, the cost of clutter, which could be your mental health, isolation, you just have no motivation. They also talked about something called Clutter Anonymous. It's kind of like Alcoholics Anonymous. So clutter is really a problem for people, and it really needs to be taken seriously. However, in order for you to get rid of that clutter, you have to set goals, and they have to be goals that are clear. You have to have a vision of how it is you want to live your life. And I feel like I've been doing these things on my own and not having any direction. I haven't done any research or talk to anybody that's a professional about this. So I really loved listening to this training. And so if you are somebody who needs help with decluttering and doesn't know how to go about it and really wants to hear it from professionals on how to get started and how to set goals and how to set your vision, then I 100% advise you to listen to this training. Skillshare is providing my viewers 1 month free during the month of October. So if you are interested in taking this training, the first 1,000 people who use my code will have access to the free month. I will also note down the name of this training in case you are interested in taking it. So you all might be wondering what I'm doing. Well, I decided last minute to move around Iliana's room. That was just not a good idea. You saw all the storage bins that were under her bed. I took nothing out. I moved the rug around with it, and it was a complete disaster. Believe me, this was not a smart thing to do. I really just wanted to experiment with the space, try something new, see if I could make it look a little bit better. And although I liked the feel of the room, my husband didn't like it. Iliana did not like it. So once I set it up, I ended up taking it all down and moving it around again. Later on in the video, you'll see my husband come in and help me, and it literally took like 5 minutes for us to get the room situated again. And then the next day is when I decluttered her closet.
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you've tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in my palm.
The Hubs is in here because he's going to take care of some work with the TV and the Xbox, just moving a couple of things around. Behind the dresser is a shelf with computer equipment, and I'm laughing because I have no idea at what point he put that there, and it just makes me laugh because wherever he can find a space for something computer related, he will put it there. It's organized and nicely put behind there, but I told him that I didn't want that there. We definitely need to move it. So we are going to work on getting that moved. We just weren't able to do it on this day because we need to order some supplies to make it possible. Now you can see the equipment behind the dresser. I honestly don't know what it is. I don't understand all of that stuff, but we are going to get it moved. So this is what Iliana's room ended up looking like when I moved it. I honestly did like the feel of it. Once my husband moved his computer equipment, I would have put her nightstand next to the bed, but she just didn't like it. So I'm not going to leave the room the way it is just because I like it. It's her room and I completely respect that. So my husband is going to help me get everything switched around. By the time I did this, it was dark outside. We had come back from karate, had dinner, and this was the last thing I wanted to do before I stopped for the night.
You say you don't wanna get in trouble, that you're doing fine cause you got me. I don't wanna break your little bubble, but you gotta wake up to reality. Cause I can see in your eyes, your head is full of dreams. Tears are a proof of failure, you just gotta let them flow without.
Let me just add that I wasted so much time earlier in the day trying to do this by myself. It was a little bit of my stubbornness of not wanting to ask for help. My husband was also working, so I didn't want to bother him, but it took me a long time to get the room situated. Not only that, it cost me a ton of frustration. Lesson learned, next time I'm asking for help. One thing that I wanted to mention are these under the bed bins. I did link them in my previous video in case any of you are looking for some. They're really inexpensive. My husband and I are bargain shoppers. I'm going to be honest with you. He's the one that actually found and purchased all of these under the bed storage containers. It was not me. It was him. He was on it. He had them all delivered to our house. It was quite embarrassing because I'm sure the delivery drivers were like, what the heck is this? We ordered so many of them, but I'm going to go ahead and link it down below today as well. It is now the next day. It's a little bit brighter in Iliana's room, and I'm going to get started in her closet. Her closet was in a lot worse condition than Mikey's. I had 2 boxes in here filled with odds and ends from her bedroom in Arizona. I have a lot of keepsakes in them, and so these boxes were hard for me to pack up. I have a really hard time getting rid of things that hold memory in them for me, and a lot of times these things probably have no meaning to anybody else. So when I was packing these boxes up, I talked about that, and I can share that video with you down below in my description box. I was able to declutter these boxes a little bit more, so I'm really proud of myself for doing that. Let me talk to you about what I'm doing right now. We really have no space in this room for Iliana's desk. So I told her the last resort was for us to try and put it into the closet, make a little space in the closet for her. And if she feels like it's not something she's going to use, or I notice it's not something that she's using, then the desk is going to go. It's actually her vanity desk. So we're going to give it one last try right here. This was a pain in my rear to get into the closet. It did not fit. I had to take all of the legs off. Once I took the legs off and put it in, I realized that the drawer was not in there and the drawer did not fit through the doorway. 2 minds are better than one, because what I had my husband do was take the doors off of the closet because I felt like that was the only way this was going to work. Well, later on that night, my husband asked me, Erica, is the only reason you wanted to take the doors off the closet because you wanted to put the drawers in? And pretty much I told him yes. He said we could have just put the vanity on its side and slid in the drawer. And he was absolutely right. But I was glad that I got to see what the room looked like with the doors off, because I have been envisioning taking them off and it looking much better. But at the end of the day, I realized that that is not what I want to do at all.
Outside my window, is everything pale and cold? Can't seem to pick up my phone. It's been ringing all day long. Behind these clouds, I know the sun will be, but today's raining, so be patient with me. I'll be right. Somehow I must be somewhere the sky is blue. I'm too tired to sleep, too tired to do anything else than doing nothing. I'm too tired to rest, too tired, I'm blue. Can't do nothing else than doing nothing.
After reading through the comments, I know that there are several of you out there that are decluttering areas in your house yourselves, and I know that it's a big job, not only physically but also emotionally. Decluttering does take a lot out of you. I know firsthand, and I felt the effects afterwards. Because I was moving and downsizing, I fast-tracked my decluttering, and I really don't recommend doing that. It takes a toll on a person. If you are decluttering, just go room by room, take your time, set your goals, and tell yourself when it is you want to get this done. And they have to be clear goals. I want to declutter my library in the next month. I'm going to take 1 to 2 days a week to do so. And this is what I learned in the training, and that is so beneficial. Say it out loud, write it on paper, make a schedule, and give yourself a deadline. That way you know that you are working towards something and you have an end goal. You have to envision what it is you want to see in that room. As I mentioned to one of my viewers, take before and after photos, because a lot of times you forget what the room looked like before, and when you get to the end, you might think you didn't make progress. But if you look at your photo before and you look at your photo after, you will definitely see all the progress that you made. Another thing that's important to mention is that everyone's definition of clutter is different. The way I see clutter may not be the way that you see clutter, and that's okay. We're all different. We all have different visions and needs for our home. So just make sure not to compare yourself to others. Maybe your version of decluttering is much lighter than mine. I know that I had to go full force, but that's because I moved and I lessened my space by a whole lot. So just do what is comfortable for you, what makes you feel lighter, and what makes you feel happier. If you start feeling defeated, and it's really easy to feel this way when you're decluttering, especially if it's a huge project, or if you have multiple projects lined up and you're anticipating those projects, try and remember to stay in the moment, focus on the project at hand. You don't have to do everything at once, and you definitely don't have to get all of these projects done in a week. Decluttering takes time. Like I said, I don't recommend fast tracking it. Don't feel like it's something you have to do in a rush, because that will definitely take a toll on you. I'd say the most important thing is that you started. Once you start, you are going to fall in love with the process, and you are not going to want to stop. So let's continue to get motivated together. Always remember that I am here for you.
I've been hanging on, counting days, thinking it was me all along. Had a million conversations in my head about where it went wrong. And I've got no idea where you've been, who you are, not anymore. All I got is this Polaroid picture of us from June 24th. It's where I kissed you for the first time, laid on your sheets. You gave me your heart and said you trusted with me, but all I did was let you down time and time again. It wasn't my intention, maybe we should have been friends. So You're someone I used to know, but nobody said it'd be easy. But maybe I should have known. One more drink to swallow it down. I gotta get you out of my mind, but nobody said it was easy.
So this is what's going on behind the scenes. It is not pretty. Everything behind these doors is to give away. This stuff needs to go in my closet. I still have to go through that box. These are toys that I honestly don't think she's going to need, and I'm probably going to get rid of them without her knowing because I know that she doesn't play with these at all. These are plaques from dance, pictures. I still need to clean the top of the closet. This is bad. I'm sitting in front of a window, so if I look overexposed, it's just the sunlight coming in and the camera not being able to handle it well. But Iliana's room is a disaster. I feel like it's not minimal enough for me. I'm trying to make that thing in the back work, and I think that it's not going to work. It's just something that I need to let go of. So I need to make that decision because it does not work in her room. She doesn't use it as a desk anymore. She's not going to school. She's going to school. She's not doing homeschool. So I think I should just let it go. My husband took the doors off for me. We were having a big discussion about that because he said the doors couldn't come off unless we removed this piece on the bottom that keeps the doors aligned, but he was able to get it off. I don't know. So yeah, it's just been a little stressful trying to figure this out. I don't want her room to feel cluttered, and I feel like the desk does add to the cluttered feeling. So I need to make a decision.
You said it was the last time, but you keep coming back to tell me sorry that you take back all the things you said just to hurt me. Our love just went cold, but I'm still burning.
My husband was frustrated because he took the doors off for me. It was not something he wanted to do, so I decided that I was going to put these doors back on by myself.
Back in when I begin to get myself together again. You are back once more, like everything's the same. I tried to build my walls up, but you're taking them down. It's tearing me apart. I can't pretend. Now I have to get over you again. You said it was the last time, but you keep coming back to show me sorry you have changed now. But it's the same old story. Our love just went cold, but I'm still burning. Our love just went cold. Why? I keep on making the same mistake.
Something new about me is that I am ruthless when it comes to decluttering. I don't hold on to much anymore. The only thing that I have problems with are my baby items. Those things are definitely a little harder.
Have to get over you again. To get over you, I keep on making the same mistake. I always let
something that I learned is that I like to ask family members before I give them something if they are going to keep it, because if it's something that they don't need and they're just going to trash it or donate it anyways, I could just do that myself. So that's just a little something I've learned being back home. Once I get through decluttering and organizing this box, we are going to be close to the end of the video. I really hope that today's video gave you some tips to declutter spaces in your home. And these tips are extremely useful, and I know that they'll get you started on the right foot. Thank you all so much for being here with me today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.